Hello, friends. I've got a question for you. Are you one of the 20%? Are you one of the 20% of humans who have a habit of procrastination? Yep, I bet a lot of you can say, me too, that's me. What do I do about procrastination? How do I deal with it? How do I overcome it? You may be even asking yourself, why do I behave that way? And actually, procrastination becomes a habit when we don't address what's really up front and center in our lives. And that can be an issue because there's something that we want to do and it's going to help us move the dial and make progress in our lives. However, we allow other things to get in the way of what we want to do, and what's most important doesn't get addressed. And there are many reasons that we procrastinate. And more often than not, it is something that has become a habit in one's life. And it's much easier, I've heard my clients tell me, to put off today what they can do tomorrow. But what you will find if you ask yourself the truth is, if you ask yourself why you're procrastinating, and what you can do about it, it's never really the reason why you think. And if you dive deep enough, you can find out that perhaps there's fear behind it. Perhaps you have some fear about accomplishing it and actually accomplishing your goal. You have fear about what else is going to change in your life if you actually do that thing that you say you want to do. And one of the best ways to cope and deal with procrastination is to actually get it up and out of you and onto paper. It's like a brain dump. What you want to do is write down what it is that you want to accomplish and what are the things that are keeping you from doing it. And you can actually, there's a lot of ways to do it, but one of the most helpful ways that I found is to write the yucky list and the yummy list. So you get a piece of paper, you draw a line in the middle, and you have a negative on top of the yucky list, and you have a positive on top of the yummy list, and you write down all the reasons why you are aware that you're procrastinating. That's under the yucky list, like what's the worst that can happen? What's holding you back? And the yummy list is like, what are going to be the great results from doing that thing that you're procrastinating about, right? And it's really about the small gains that make the biggest strides for us. And so if you want to make progress, what you want to do, for example, is take a look at a ladder, right? You open up this big, huge ladder and it's got like 20 steps on it. Well, in order to accomplish what you want to do, you don't start at the bottom and then just leap up to the top. Those are all steps. Those are all steps that you can take one at a time, those small steps. And when you get, let's say, a quarter of the way up, if there's 5 steps up there, you can look down and say, wow, look at all those things that I accomplished to get here. And you don't have to look all the way up at the top to the destination because, again, the journey is in the process. It's not about the destination. It's about what you're learning along the way. And perhaps, you don't have to look at the big picture, but one step at a time, because it makes it more doable. It makes it more possible for us to actually take a look at one step at a time instead of the entire ladder. And it's kind of like a race, when you start out of the running blocks. I don't know if any of you ever raced, but as a competitive racer myself, if I was going to do an endurance race, what would happen is I had a plan in my mind to be able to start out slowly, build up momentum, keep that pace, and then at the end finish strong. So it wasn't just jetting out at 100%. And that's what will help you with your procrastination as well, is that you want to start out slowly, you want to build that momentum, you want to make that progress, and ultimately you will win the race and break the tape at the end. And the journey might not have looked anything like you were expecting it to, but we've got to start. The best way to progress is to actually start. And as I said earlier, 20% of people operate under the monster of procrastination. It's part of life. It's part of being human. And so many people, like myself, have done that. But in order to unpack it, do that exercise that I just mentioned, because it'll help you be able to see what is holding you back and then go after what you really want. What are going to be the benefits? What are the possibilities for getting unstuck from that procrastination? And oftentimes when we are feeling stuck and we don't know how to get unstuck, it's because we're living in the past. And we can't get unstuck from living in the past. That's our subconscious running old patterns that are keeping us in one place. So what can you do? You may ask yourself, what can you do to get unstuck? What can you do to stop procrastinating? What can you do to break that avoidance pattern? Try being in the now. Try being in the present. Try looking at your circumstances instead of good or bad to be neutral. Go into that neutral spot. Be in that neutral spot and look at life and circumstances and events, not as good or bad, but just being neutral. Because we're in a neutral spot, we are in the present moment, and nothing is good or bad in the present moment. And we get to choose. It is a choice. Changing the habits of procrastination takes effort. Okay? It takes effort. You can't stay in the same place and expect something different. And you also can't solve a problem with the tools that you used before. You've got to create new tools and skills. And so when you're in a space of neutrality, then you can see more clearly. And nothing's wrong in that space, and you can look at it objectively. So I invite you to, when you're feeling stuck, don't look at the good or bad and get yourself out of the past, but put yourself in a neutral position. Write that list down about all the yummy things that you're going to benefit from. And it's a conscious choice to get unstuck. Is this making sense? You can have all the things that you want in life because you deserve it, right? But you have to go after it. You have to bend down, pick it up, lean in, and go after it because you deserve it. So what we have to do is get ourselves out of a low vibration. Most people in this world, not you though, live in a low vibration. And that's where low energy is. And that's where, feelings of being stuck are. And that's where low emotions are. And what you want to do is live in a high vibration, a higher vibration, where you have joy and energy and happiness. And so there's a huge difference in vibration in our life. And you were brought down here to live in a high vibration. You are blessed from God above and the divine to actually activate your spirit, activate your energy, live in a high vibration, and get everything that you want because you deserve it, right? So go ahead and do that exercise. I encourage you to do it. And I want to leave you with a quote by Pablo Picasso. And he said that only put off until tomorrow what you are willing to leave undone. So like when you go to the grave and when you're on your deathbed, whenever that is, it's like, oh, wow, I didn't want to leave that undone. I didn't do it. Don't put off until tomorrow what you want today. And some of you watching this have worked with me. And I want to take just a minute to define the difference between what a life coach is and a therapist is and a psychologist, and who I am as an empowerment coach, as a transformational coach. And I know it can be kind of scary to begin working with a coach, but what you want to think about and what you want to consider is, where are you at now in your life and what do you want to get? And as a coach, what I do is help people take where they're at, unpack all the things that are keeping them stuck or what they want to work with. And it's not more things to work with. I see you in your place, in your space of where you're at. And I am a mentor to help you unpack what's there for you so that you can sort it out and get clarity and actually take the necessary steps, break them down, know what they are. So it's not more work necessarily when you're working with a coach, but it's to allow you to accelerate with the goals that you have in life and accelerate to get you into that high vibration, accelerate for you to make progress to where you want to go. So if you're in that spot where you are ready to make the change, you are ready to break the old habits, you are ready to let go of the past and move into the life that is waiting for you, then I will drop a link and you can schedule a personal growth strategy call with me and we can get you going. So this is Shelley Marenka with Inspired Living. I love all of you. If you're just dropping into the video now, go back and listen to it. You've got some important things that I shared with you about procrastination, how you can overcome it, and how you can get unstuck. Meanwhile, go ahead and join me on my shiny new platform of Instagram. Love you guys and have an amazing day. And remember, don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today because you deserve to have a beautiful life. Ciao for now.